Good Thursday morning. And I'm going to try it one more time. My phone just did a software upgrade, and I just yabba dabba dude for nothing for a minute. But hey, welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, SUVs, the kid, the dogs, the attitudes, state of the times. Hey, look at the pond over here. It's trying to freeze up in this balmy 27-degree day. Cold up here this morning, but beautiful sunny day. And got to get the routine going. The show must go on. And for me, wow. Yeah, wow. Hey, good morning there, everybody that tunes into my channel. Really appreciate all those that really do subscribe and listen to me yabba dabba do in the morning with my ideas and views and thoughts that hopefully pertain to you. Could we say that? I don't know. So, busy. I mean, I'm just slammed. Incredible. I worked out in my shop last night. I worked in my shop all day afternoon. And this is funny. This dog knows, see this dog right here? This guy walks around on all four. But then in the morning time, do you see that? Now, he plays this injury thing. Okay? I mean, is he getting better or worse? But it's just, see, I think it called him out. Is he the actor? Like you, the Iceman? Oh my gosh, beautiful day. And as always, it's always a challenge. What do we talk about? I mean, we talked about what the used on Monday, the new on Tuesday, the fear on Wednesday, and what do we talk about today? I mean, what content do I bring to anybody here that wants to listen to me babble on and yabba dabba do? Where's the lightning truck? Oh, wow. Did somebody steal it? Wow. Wouldn't that be wouldn't that be a cool thing? Wow, got stolen last night. Why didn't it take that exhaust with it? Well, they don't need an exhaust, do they? Oh my gosh, everything's frosted over. And yeah, you think it's stolen? Yeah, people here watching my channel. Yeah, it's stolen, all right. Yeah, I'm the guy that stole it of incompetence. Yeah, so disappointing. I'm getting a few of my subscribers that reached out for the 10K celebration failed. Did you hear the word? Failed to get their sticker and their lunch meal. Or their dinner. I don't know. Whatever. The crackers and tuna. Wow. There it is. Here's the lightning truck that is plugged in and getting charged for the work day ahead. Let's get the dogs in. Yeah, you're hearing the word failed. And you know what? It's so cool. How about this little drill thing here? And this little thing is pretty cool. It makes it so I can do so many jobs. Got my daughter one too. It's just a little powered little drill, versus having to use a bigger, like this is my favorite one right here. But that's some tight and getting areas. This here is pretty cool. And I watched it. It was $40. Finally, Sam's Club had a sale on it for 30, so I bought 2 of them. All right, dogs, let's get in here, get the day going. As I have a very busy day, getting a little early start, not real early start, because I got to go out and do a bunch of jobs, crawl on my hands and knees, freeze my butt up. But yeah, the word failed for my subscribers. So I thought to myself today, we're gonna have the failure conversations. I thought, wow, that could be a pretty good conversation because of what is going around us. And I think in so many ways, the failure in our sitting administration governing bodies in this country, I think the failure is in so many ways more than the success. So as usual, I always like to turn on the lights and share with those the love of my cars. And some will be like, but the love of your cars, you got rid of a really cool car, and that car was going to be the car that gets you your $1 million, and you sold it. You remember those conversations, Mr. Iceman? And you truly failed to stay on that course. And so I think to myself, wow, I had a hat out here. I'm so disappointed. It just turns into, can't remember where I put a damn thing. Thought I had my big heavy hat. I wanted my heavier hat because it's cold and I can't find it. So now I'm sitting here playing the blah 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 game. Maybe I'll change out hats. Maybe I'll put this hat on. Think of that hat. Well, that matched this outfit a little better, even though I really wanted kind of the winter rag hat. That's not in here either. So I taking away from her time as usual. How does that look? Let's see. We're looking at it. I look a little more, color coordinated. So, anyways, yeah, the failed conversations. Who hasn't had the failed relationship? Who hasn't had that? The failed marriage. Who hasn't failed a test? Who hasn't failed? I mean, in so many ways, you feel like in life. I mean, who hasn't had all these challenges? I mean, if you're living the real deal in this world, it'd be hard to believe it. You can tell me you had success every time you walk out the door every day of your life. Yeah, right. Looks so easy, doesn't it? As usual, we walk around, look at all my crap out here. Oh, is that it? Did I put my hat over here? No, I didn't. It's just too much stuff. So much stuff. So as always, we walk around. I talk about the cars, and I get it. What's your favorite car? I wonder what person would be like, the car I like to look at, the car porn, is that what it is? I mean, come on. If you're a real car enthusiast, don't you just love going through and looking at the favorite vehicle you like? Like for this 37, I've always wanted 37. I finally got it. And we just about thought that was going to be a failure. The failure was the Nissan Z. You really want to get a Nissan Z? Yeah, another day. Man, I'm just running out of spots. So, yeah, the truck there, the race truck, that's full of crap in the back of it from emptying out the house. And I failed to remember to empty the damn thing. Oh, that's a whole other project. But here, you know what? Always curious. These so-called detail experts in the automotive dealership, they spray the tires so your whole side of your truck, once you take off, turns into the spray mobile. You see this? It's just like, oh my gosh. Who's going to make some tire, adhesive shine that doesn't just spray your whole freaking vehicle? So the failure of Elon Musk. But Elon Musk, I'm sure people are like, he hasn't failed. Yeah, he doesn't know the word failure. But in some aspects, he's having right now to be challenged about his autonomous driving, or whatever you want to call it. His cars can drive themselves. All of them be recalled right now for Elon Musk. Sure, everybody knows that, because apparently the pilot, the autopilot, that's what they call it, the autopilot, the FSD, full serve driving, I guess. I'm just not the Tesla guy. I'm just not. I've never been the biggest fan of Elon. And don't get me wrong, I think Elon is doing a lot of things, but I just never been a big fan of the guy. So, but I enjoy talking about him, don't I? Those that watch my channel. So his autopilot is been canceled for the moment, and all of his cars are being recalled because the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, or whoever, has called him out on some of these accidents, and they feel like, hey, look at that tag. There's the horse, Prancer, or my daughter's little pony. It's a big horse. So So yeah, he's had challenges because he's got to figure out how to get that car to approve the governing bodies for being a safe vehicle. Super B. Oh, there he is. Hey, there's Keithy boy. What you doing, bud? Hi. Oh, the kid's not happy. He's right here. I got him. I don't know what's going on. She wants him back in. Yeah. So the kid's calling me out. I'm not keeping him. So anyways, go on to the house. Go on. Get going. Yeah, call him. Yeah. The kid freezing her butt off, right? All right. So anyways, so in Tesla, the autopilot, well, if you look at the Ford product, they call theirs the 360 Copilot. So think that through. Ford's presentation on this 360 Blue Cruise is called the Copilot. They're saying that you yourself are assisting the vehicle. Tesla is saying they have autopilot, meaning that it doesn't need you. And the reason I thought about the Ford 360 Blue Cruise Copilot is I found out from one of my somebody watched my channel said, hey man, the reason this, the Ford Raptor does not have the 360 Copilot capability. And I kind of figured that because I've had the 2022 Ford 35-inch Raptor. If you watch my channel, you know I had a black one of these that I traded for this platinum. Yeah, platinum, right? Platinum ain't platinum because it doesn't have all the platinum features on it, but it's the Power Boost, and this does have the self-driving or the 360 Copilot capability. And so you just have to say to yourself, well, why does that truck have that capability? And why doesn't the Raptor truck have the same thing? And just from my own personal experience here recently, driving this and having adaptive cruise control, and I came up behind a guy, if you're watching my channel and saw me the 37 day, I was coming up behind his trailer, and this camera, the camera down here, it was not picking up and figuring out what was going on in front of it. If I hadn't overtaken the truck, I would have driven right into the back of this guy's trailer. That was like a ramp trailer, but it just had like no solid, back end to it where this camera could figure out what's going on. So part of me says the bigger trucks that sit up higher in the air, maybe this is a reason they don't have the 360 Copilot. I really don't know. I'm just speculating that the 360 Copilot is due to the height of the truck, because on my Ford Bronco, I don't have 360 Copilot, and my daughter's getting so upset because Keith, come on, Keith, let's go. I gotta walk out to the house. Come on, Keith, come on, boy, keep going. Go on, come over. The Ford Bronco, you have different packages, and as far as I know, there's no 360 Copilot, but I think that's just more about the money in the truck. I don't know. I'm not real clear on that. Anybody out there, so the kid gave up on Kiefer, so now I've got a Kiefer dog he's gonna hang out with us, which is totally distracting the channel, as you can tell, right? So be interested to hear other people's views, because my F-250 Tremor, it has the adaptive cruise control, but it doesn't have the stop and go adaptive. But this here does have somewhat the stop and go. This has more of the stop and go. The Ford F-150 Lightning has the 360 Copilot. So what is going on the difference from the Raptor truck to this truck? Is it because of the height of the vehicle? I just really don't know. Yes, so Keefy boys with me. The electric truck charged up. How do you know, right? Can you just push this button to tell you? But it doesn't. That's so stupid. Okay, there it is. I can't remember all this damn technology and everything else. So if you're back here with the motorcycle, if you kind of jump from the 360 Copilot to the Indian Pursuit, which I finally got the letter yesterday that said, yes, we've submitted the refunds for your motorcycle. We've reached out to Indian to cut us a check. As soon as you get the check, we'll meet with you to move on to Indian Pursuit. Now, I don't know what's going on with Army retired vet. I don't know what you're hearing. For some reason, he thinks that I don't like Indian anymore. I just don't understand why we can have this conversation, Mr. Army man. I didn't say I don't like Indian. I mean, look at my shop. Indian rug, Indian rug, Indian rug, Indian rug. At what time, I had, I believe, 5 Indians. Then I had 4 Indians. I still have 2 Indians. This hasn't gone away. I mean, for me, it's more about, if I sell this bike, I'm going to have a ton of money to go buy something else. Is it our Indian? I don't know. Do I sell it? I don't know. I've just got mixed feelings. And here's the Harley product. And the argument turns into Mr. Army Man is that Harley has, in so many ways, junk. But for me, it's like, yeah, but Harley's got far more motorcycles out in the field than Indian does. I know they've had the sump issues. I know Harley's had problems. All these manufacturers have problems at some point with something. But you have to remember, Harley is such the bigger product out in the market. Yeah, I would tell you all day long before I bought the CVO that the Indian eats this thing alive. Now, it's a different type of, my view of where Harley has stepped it up. And this is just a really fun motorcycle. But is it as good as the Indian? It's not. This has the lean technology in it. This has the electronic suspension that enables you to really get down the back roads. It's just the weirdest feeling of the lean technology on a motorcycle. Yeah, I really shouldn't sell it. Who knows? Knowing me, I'll sell it and buy another Indian Elite, just a different color. Who knows? I don't know. So we'll just see how that kind of plays out for the Army, man. And not here arguing with you. I'm just sharing with you that I'm not dissing the Indian product by any means. I still like the Indian product. But at the same time, I'm curious to see what Harley brings in January of the touring line that's going to kind of follow off of this this motorcycle line. At the same time, I'm just at a point where I've had all these touring bikes. I'm enjoying the Triumph actually more because it's just such a nicer change up of riding. So I just really do enjoy that style of bike. And so the failure, well, I can take now me being a failure in my constant addictions to buying cars. And I bought a Dodge Charger last year at a very high price, only to have failed in what I thought would play out within the next year or so. I really thought that these Dodge products, being the Red Eyes, would not be a dime a dozen in the market, and people really want to take advantage of getting the last run of these cars and be able to buy my car at a really good price. I failed. I totally failed on that. And yeah, does that kind of really just But the other way I look at it, I try to take the failures and make them successes. In my eyes, one for that Dodge Charger being financed with Ford Motor Credit in my personal name, this never would have played out. Because I came to a dead end with Ford Motor Credit where they just became too aggressive on wanting too much money down to try to buy the Raptor. And it was the same story. Realize it or not, it was the same story years ago. They wanted a ton of money down for these deals to go down, which I'm just like, no way. I'm just not spending $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 to buy a car. It's one thing if I have one or two cars. When you have the addictions I have, can you imagine, how much money I'd spend? I mean, you go through, let's just say conservative, 10 purchases of cars this year. Let's just say, and I think it's more than that, let's just say put 20 grand down each one. That's $200,000. What imbecile, what knucklehead would do that? Hey, Keeler, get back here. Come on, get back here. This is so disappointing. I had a hard conversation with my dog the other day. And this dog here, he's still very young, and I guess he's going to the bathroom, but he just isn't the age where you can just let him run amok and not know where he is. But who doesn't have these conversations with a kid? Yeah, you don't think my kid gets a stern warning every now and then? You don't know who I am as a parent. I mean, it ain't no free range out here. I think some thinks that is. Don't work that way. I mean, sincerely. She's like, well, if I want to do this and do that, and I was ever to do that and move away or something like that, I'm like, well, nothing's coming with you. I mean, so you meet the man of your life that you think so cool and great, and you think all your toys are going with you. They ain't. They all stay right here. So we're having to monitor the dog that's got bathroom issues, apparently. He failed to go to the bathroom earlier, I guess, right? Is that the right conversation? So for me, yeah, have I ever failed to make a car payment? I sure have. Have I ever failed to keep cars? I sure have. Have I had complete failure in my life like never seen? Yes, I have. Who doesn't have these stories? And that's what I try to share my Think and Grow Rich video with others, because I tell the story kind of who I am and where I came from. Because so many people think, oh, this guy's got it made, man. Oh, yeah. Or his mommy, daddy gave him something. I'm sure that resonates in some people's views. They see my channel. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've said it the other day. My dad's going to keep the tradition going. His dad gave him nothing. My dad, for the most part, didn't give me anything. Did I work for things? Yes. Is my dad leaving me, per se, any great wealth? He's not. Did his dad? No. Who knows these stories out there? Keeper, come on back here. Get up here. Let's go. Come on. In the house. Come on, boy. We're going to have to walk back to the house because my daughter just isn't out here paying attention. So, come on, boy. Let's go. And I don't really know what's going on. So, this YouTube channel is for me. Sorry for those watching my channel having to deal with the Keeper dog. But, when you have to take responsibility for owning the animal, you take responsibility, right? So, here we go. Come on, boy. Let's go. Get in the house and get him back in. And are you okay? What is going on with you this morning? What did you eat? I have no idea. So we'll do it all right. We'll walk back at the front door and say, hey, Good Thursday morning, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, yeah. I think most people watch my channel all can relate to the failures, but the failures we make successes. That's the challenge, is can you take the failures and become a bigger and better person and rise above all that, because that's extremely challenging. It's not fun failing by any means. But for some reason, some people just don't want to look in the mirror and say, I failed, and it's time to take a new direction and go off on another path in life. Do our governing bodies work that way? They don't seem to operate that way. It's really, really bad. Where we are in today's society, really bad. The incompetence of somebody that enjoy failures and continue to support the failures. That's what's very unsettling for me. This COP 28, if you really read into the COP 28, they finally came, this guy Jabal, who supposedly said that this climate change stuff's a bunch of malarkey. The guy's totally caved. And even his buddies, being the biggest fossil fuel enriched people of the world ever in mankind, they've all caved. They've all come to closure that by 2050, no more fossil fuels. I said it yesterday. Yeah, we'll see, right? But think this through. I mean, sincerely, if they're saying there's no more fossil fuels being produced in the world in 2050, how do these vehicles run? I mean, can you even imagine? I mean, sincerely. I mean, I think somebody else out there like, nah, there's no way it's going to happen. I hope you're right. Because right now, 25 years from now, I mean, in so many ways, keep in mind that the investment of oil industry, gas stations, the infrastructure, it'll start to disappear. If this stuff really starts to play out, that the oil, what is it? I'm trying to think of the name of the Arab nations that have the control of the oil markets. I know OPEC and all that other stuff. But if it really starts to become much more prevalent and much more seen that the big oil really is transitioning away from drilling for new oil, and they're not investing in the industry by 2040, and it really is starting to look like the electric and the renewables have really taken the market by stride. Yeah, right. You're talking 12, 14 years. And so then all of a sudden, all these gas stations and all these oil infrastructure starts to disappear. It starts to go away. And how are you buying gas? How are you filling up these vehicles? I mean, you're talking radical change. Who here doesn't know of people who have cars that are 20 years old? I mean, sincerely, you see them on the road. You go into the more rural, not rich areas, there's so many cars that are 10, 15, 20 years old running around still. It's incredible. And today's technology is cars. You know as well as I do, if you take care of these vehicles today, you can get 20 years out of these vehicles. Yeah, but we're now on a 25-year, once again, remember, if 2050 is the goal of no more gasoline being produced, what do you do? Besides have to retrofit these things in electric vehicles? Are you kidding me? You're going to see the biggest junkyard of ice ever. It'll be unbelievable if this stuff plays out. As in my eyes, these Saudi guys all wimped out at the last minute of agreeing to this radical green agenda, which so many here feel is going to be a failure. That's why I'm talking this morning about failure conversations. It'll take so long to understand, to see if the green agenda really created the Save the World 1.5 Celsius. Anybody knows it takes time to really see the success or failure. I can take Dan Snyder of the Washington Redskins. That was a total failure to that organization. And it took years and years and years and years and years and years of his failure. Over 20 plus years. 1998, I think he bought the Washington Redskins. It wasn't until 2023 he finally let it go. How many years is that? That's like 25 years, quarter of a century, where a guy finally was forced out of the league because he's such a loser individual. I mean, he was the worst failure city. And so for us, this climate global crap that he's talking about, We won't. You'll never know. You'll never know. You'll never know. There'll be excuses of the whole way that this green agenda has borderline brainwashed people to believe that these things here are the whole problem, the whole world, and these going away, get rid of these damn tailpipe emissions that at the end of the day, and we all know that the continued progress of technology of these gas vehicles can be even better. But there's a fine line there where the automotive manufacturers are jumping to the Elon Musk table. Remember, Elon Musk, in so many ways, Elon Musk copied the Chinese. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. Do you understand that the Chinese were building electric cars before Elon Musk was? I mean, is anybody figuring stuff out? I mean, don't get me wrong. Elon Musk, cool guy. But at the same time, everybody just thinks this guy's the most incredibly sophisticated, knowledgeable guy in the whole wide world. And he's building Optimus. Have you seen the latest video of Optimus? That's freaky stuff. And Elon is on the path to make sure those damn things get built. And that artificial intelligence is going to be the next thing in your life that will be failure safe. I mean, freaky. Is anybody starting to freak out yet that what Elon Musk is creating in this world more than ever? The autopilot car that convinces people that they can go sit in the back seat as the car goes down the road and have fun in the back seat as they crash and kill themselves. Anybody going to figure out when that Optimus has a failure and starts attacking you? I mean, finds your gun? I mean, are you kidding me? Somebody hacks to Optimus to shoot and kill you? Oh my gosh, man, the video of everything you do will be watched. I mean, you're going to sleep at night with a robot in your house and feel comfortable about that? Are you kidding me? I mean, this is beyond believable where we're going. And, I talk about failures, and that's the thing about life. Who can admit their failures? Who admits that they have failed in life? And I can share some pretty incredible failure stories in my life. And the reason I want to do that is because so many people think this guy that doesn't really know my channel, this guy's had the cakewalk. This guy here, right. He's, and I see these comments, not often, but here was an extremely big failure in my life because I went from being in one industry to a whole different industry. And me being the car nut I am, so you go back to the 80s, coming out of high school, I had success of coming out of high school and working and working my way through, discipline myself to work and do the right things. And I transitioned out of the automotive industry into, guess what? The gasoline industry, where I drove a big tanker truck and I delivered fuel. Well, in that adventure, over time, I evolved from driving a maintenance truck to then driving a fuel truck, then to managing a home heating oil company, being assistant manager and driving those trucks. Then I evolved into commercial sales. And so my whole career for close to 10 years was all about the fuel. And I sold fuel. And I started to become very successful. And I started to make some really good money. Many, many years of working extremely hard. Just showing you my fuel tanks back here because it's all about the fuel tanks. I wonder who wants some 550-gallon fuel tanks. They're sitting up here in front of my shop. I have tried to borderline give those things away, and to no avail. Years ago, I had these 550-gallon fuel tanks filled with gasoline because my public telephone business was reliant on me driving around every day to maintain my public telephones. And I was always concerned if there was ever a fuel crisis that I would be dead in the water waiting at a gas station to get fuel. So I bought these tanks, and I had 1,100 gallons worth of fuel storage on my property for the what if, because if we ever have a fuel shortage, guess what's going to have incredible value? Guess who's going to want electric cars overnight? I mean, electric car industry failure right now could change rapidly if we ever had a gas shortage. But anyways, point is, I transitioned out of that career into a network marketing company called Envirotech International with Jonathan Goldsmith, Rod Yank. I've talked about this before. And I transitioned to selling this waterless car wash. So the whole idea of this product here back in 1991, 92, the whole industry is focused on we're going to run out of water. You can clean a whole car with no water. So I got caught up to become a distributor of that product, and I killed myself for close to 2 years, and to no avail of just waste of freaking time. People are resistant to it. And so this was supposed to be the future of helping save Mother Nature, Earth, and the world. Yeah, right. How'd that all play out? Yeah, right. How many people are cleaning their car today with no water? How many new car washes are you seeing being built that use no water to clean a car? It's the most stupidest thing in the world. But sure, I got caught up in that. And did I about lose everything? I did. Did I have the repos of my cars? Close. I was able to get rid of a few cars and get a car. I didn't have many cars back at that time. Did I just about lose this property? Yes. Even to the point my best friend at the time even tried to convince me, just let this place go. Who cares? It'll be a bigger, better day another day. And I'm like, yeah, get the hell out of here. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're the guy that convinced me to get in this damn business that I'm now terrible at. So I had a failure in that, and I had to move on. And I then opened the door for me to get in the public telephone business, which that then became a very incredible business for me, and my success prevailed. But then many years later, I got to go out here and show you. I got so, the business was failing. The cell phone industry was overtaking the business. And I knew I just have to start transitioning a different way. And I did go a different way, but I just was kind of really wanting to transition into the lawn and garden equipment business, where I literally started my venture in 2005 that I completed by 2007 to be in the lawn and garden tractor business. I literally was a Coyote tractor dealership. I was a trailer dealership. Look at this here. The Black Wada. Wow. Freezing up. So I literally got into full-size tractors and the minis and lawnmowers, zero turns, trailers. Then I had a service equipment dealership. And I designed the logo, the tractor shop. And I started this company right down the street from me, and I got in that industry all at the wrong time. I started in 2007, and that's when this whole country was on the path to an incredible recession. If everybody is of age, 2008, we all know, 2008, 9, everything collapsed. And I was part of that. So I lost everything. I had to file the business in a bankruptcy. And then once that thing went through all the proceedings and procedures, then I personally had to file bankruptcy. So I went back to zero. I literally was back to 2 vehicles and having to borderline start all over again, which was just so maddening and depressing, because I got caught up in the thoughts that every other brother is richer than rich, and that everybody's going to be able to buy anything they can, and everybody's just rich, not knowing that everybody's borrowing money out of their house to make that their checking account. So incredibly challenging times, and then I had to start all over again. And fortunately, this time around, I've had success, but extremely challenging times. So here we are, going to get back upstairs here because it's getting cold. My hands are freezing. A lot of talking. Kiefer kind of throws off the failure conversations a little bit, but I don't want to fail as a dog owner. Have my dog get run over on the main road, and that would be devastating. So I take care of my doggies, and I don't want to have that happen. Right, puppies? Because these are my companions, and if you get a dog, it's a lot of commitment. And how many people fail on that? Go to the dog pound, and you'll find out, man, it's cold. Brr. Sometimes that thing turns on without me having it turned on, just to save the room from freezing. Got to go for the push the button here, push the button there, and sit down here and get the day going. My phone failed to charge last night, so I got to try it again here and get things going. And I've got I was really wanting to go see my good friend Tim in Jersey, and if I didn't have these jobs to do, I would have headed out this morning to go see him. Tim's watching. Hey, Tim. Morning there. And that's kind of my goal. But now the debate is, do I go do these jobs? I wouldn't even leave until 4 or 5 o'clock today. get up late tonight. But the challenge is, it's hard to believe we're only a week away from the craziness of the travel for Christmas. And I've done this so many years, going to Florida, going to Tennessee, and it's crazy. I've lived on the road so many years of my life. And so for me to go to Jersey next weekend on the busiest weekend of the year, Christmas, no way. It's going to be a drag. Total drag. Who knows? Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't think I can because my wife's going to go away to Tennessee. And I'm going to have to stay here and babysit the dogs and my business. So I can't see that being. So, I'm going to be strangleholded here. If you know those conversations, anybody has, the life of having to maintain and take care of things. And so anyway, so the failure, it's all about the failure. And that's why more than ever is the electric agenda failing. For the immediate future, in so many ways it is. For the long-term future, I guess it probably won't, because the likes of Jim Farley and Mary Barrera and Carlos Tavares, they're all playing to the world order of the green agenda. And in so many ways, they've got so much investment and so much infrastructure is being built out, and the Inflation Reduction Act from Joe Biden that's forcing the policies to happen sooner than later, with all the money being handed out and the tax incentives to companies to get on board. I mean, at some point there's going to be, the crossroads where it's going like this, and then it comes back up and goes like that. I mean, that's just the way it's going to play out. I mean, so for me, even sitting here talking about the failure of the green agenda and this and that, I think that at the end, it's going to continue its path to the electrification and the renewable energies. It's not going to stop. So if anybody here thinks it is, I think you're foolish. You're naive, because there's just too much money behind all the incentives to make this work. And they're going to do everything they can to make it work, even though somebody, I feel, will be like me saying, but it's so ridiculous, because at the end of the day, the 1.5 Celsius, what happens if it gets 1.5 with all this advanced technology and renewables? What do you do then? You reverse it back? It'll never happen. And the reality of it really playing out in 25 years, I just can't see it. I can't see it. I really can't. And all the cheats out there, they're going to cheat the system to continue to build the coal plants. I mean, China and India have built more coal plants in the last decade than anybody has in the whole world. But yet these guys are raising their hands that they're going to so-called play the agenda and play by the ball game. Yeah, right. This is like electing a politician that's going to abide by the rules and policies and everything else. Who doesn't know all these stories on both sides of the party? Doesn't matter. I guess Hunter Biden is going to be the next president of the United States. You see his presentation yesterday? I think Hunter Biden would be supported by the left to be the next one in hand. I really do. When you see on X how many people are defending Hunter Biden, okay. I mean, whatever. I mean, he definitely qualifies to be a politician. He knows how to play the game. I mean, come on, give the guy credit. I've said it many times. You want the Adam Schiff, you want the Chuck Schumer, you want the Nancy Pelosi, you want the Jerry Nadler, you want you want, if you really want to get things done, you get these people in power because they're like piranhas. They'll just do whatever they have to get things done. So the failures on the green agenda, we know right now Jim Farley's had serious challenges. Jim Farley's challenge is he's got to let all electric vehicles sitting around these sell. Same with General Motors. They're all raising their hand at this point. They're saying, hey, we need to pull back, roll back. But here's the biggest failure is possibly Shawn Fain. Reading an in-depth article today about General Motors is already structuring their future of manufacturing due to these higher costs of labor. They knew that they would have higher costs, but not this high a cost. And so they're already having to revamp their manufacturing. But what goes on with that, I talked about it yesterday, that Stellantis is having to address the California's new, more stringent guidelines of how many ICE vehicles to be sold and how many EV vehicles to be sold. So they're already seeing the future. They're going to have to start, scaling back this ICE age manufacturing. But what comes with that is less union workers that are needed to build these electric vehicles. So as Joe Biden was, dancing in the streets with the union people in Michigan about, demanding more wages, did he ever mention that they're going to be demanding to have their job back? I mean, that's where it's all going. So for Shawn Fain, in so many ways, his so-called success of the union, if the success of the COP28 plays out, and the success of Gavin Newsom plays out, and the success of the continuing ongoing electrification plays out, and Elon Musk plays out with his new baddest ass manufacturing plant ever created ever to build automobiles is going to be, or to build computers with wheels on them. I don't think you're going to have anybody barely working at these manufacturing facilities. And once Elon Musk unveils that business model, and then all the investors, everybody like, yeah, whatever, man. These people just find something else to do. Or you go to the Bernie Sanders beliefs and views, you just start paying people to sit around. I mean, that's where society is possibly going to go. That's the theory of so much of this automation will create the failures of so many others in life that pursue a career because of the creation of the Optimus and the artificial intelligence. There's already editors and journalists that are already getting very concerned. We already know the Writers Guild's been striking, and because of this artificial intelligence is going to create failures for all their positions. Because artificial intelligence is going to overtake their jobs. It's going to happen. It's already happening. It's just, but at the same time, we see what artificial intelligence does all the good, but at the same time, all the bad behind the scenes. Are we hearing the failures? Are we hearing the failures of the artificial intelligence per se? I think we are, but when do we raise our hand? Really, what? In so many ways, you just want to you just want to step back and just think, what is going on? I mean, sincerely, what is the mad rush of all this technology being shoved down our throats? Besides, Elon Musk could be the first trillionaire. The guy's already worth like $250 billion. I can only imagine that Elon's X, the growth by 10 times, is it's the 10. It's the 10. It's the X. He has to be on the mission to be the first trillionaire. And by him providing 40 billion Optimus robots to the world, how much is that going to cost you? And then how much will it cost for you to keep the monthly subscription? Which program do you buy, the nice version or the bad version? I mean, it starts to get weird and creepy on where all this stuff is going. And then for you as the owner of the Optimus that does some devious things, who's responsible, Optimus or you? I mean, this is like owning a dog, right? Your dog bites somebody, then you've got a problem. Well, what if Optimus punches somebody at your dinner party because Optimus heard you talk about how that person's this and that? I mean, come on. This would be classic stuff. This would be classic. For all the people out there who get off on, tarnishing others and badmouth them all the time, Optimus is going to be hearing this the whole time. And then they're going to see, Joe show up, or Mark, or Betty, or whatever show up, and Optimus is probably going to punch them, right? Or maybe Optimus starts talking trash to him like the owner of Optimus. This is like, can you even imagine? Once the Optimus shows up, what can you do in your own house? What are you going to do? Any of the antics, one of the devious things, whatever you're doing that you really want to be private, how the heck are you going to do this when Optimus is there watching and knows everything you're doing? Oh, you don't think he'll be able to hear you through the closed doors? You don't think that Optimus will plant his own little personal camera somewhere that you're not even, you're oblivious to? I mean, it's going to go to the craziness of the craziness. But I think it'll be classic when you have the holiday get-together events. Optimus will be serving all the food for everybody, like a waiter or waitress. And then it'll walk up and go, let's just say goes up to Betty and say, oh, you're that bitch that does all this to people. Here's your food, right? I mean, it's just, oh my gosh. Yeah, I heard you, this is the drinking problem one. All the, just all the truth will start to be prevailed. The mind reading. Who hasn't ever had the thought when you're growing up, boy, if I could just read their mind? As you get older, you're more like, I don't want to read their mind. I want nothing to do. I don't want to go down that path. Who doesn't know this? This is when you get in arguments with people. I mean, it just goes, it just all goes south. So it'll be the fighting of the Optimus. Wow. And then I guess if you're in some relationships and some families, You'll just send Optimus to the Christmas gathering, and you'll just talk through Optimus. How about that idea? Wow. Is it? I mean, it's infinite. Well, it can start to play out with these robots. Oh, wow. So, yeah, Iceman, you're getting a little goofy on us, right? You're getting away from the topic. I thought this was the topic of failures. Right. The failure of mankind. I mean, is the computer going to tell the mankind you're just a bunch of losers? You're a bunch of failures? I mean, look at where we are in today's society. Let's let's step back and take a time out. Let's talk about the failures of this sitting administration. Yeah, because so many don't want to talk about it, and the media just ignores it to a degree. So ever since the empowered being, don't get me wrong, the previous city administration had failures as well. But for the record, we got to talk about today. We're not talking about yesterday. We're talking about today. This current city administration is the biggest failure in modern times of illegal immigration. We were witnessing it in the likes of New York City, where, Eric Adams, or whatever the guy's name is, even this guy looks like the biggest failure in modern times as the mayor of New York City, because the city is it's in bad shape. Okay, so the inner cities under the city administration, we've seen the biggest failures of the inner cities governing bodies, of how they're handling the challenges of the population in their own backyard. Of the crime is through the roof. Homicides are through the roof. And somebody said, yeah, but the homicides were, it doesn't matter. I thought this administration was a Build Back Better agenda. So the homicides should be down. The crime should be down. Illegal immigration should be down. Can anybody show me where anything is down besides your paycheck is down and you can't afford to buy the groceries you used to buy? Is anybody, oh, wait a second, but that was all because of COVID. And that was all because of blah, 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 and the gas prices were crazy because of the Ukraine war and Russia. Well, why did we let Russia invade Ukraine? I mean, why didn't we stand up from the get-go and tell them all forces abroad the world, NATO, all the North Atlantic Treaty Organizations are going to get together and they're going to tell Putin to go, putt himself. Putin. Yeah, so failure after failure after failure. Energy prices, failure through the roof, even though now a barrel of oil got in the $60 range. Hey, who predicted that? What guy predicted that eventually the $60 barrel oil will be back? Does anyone remember those conversations? Do I get any credit here at all? So, all right, so city administration, education, it seems like Joe Biden's getting a lot of money, billions of dollars, for all the failed college participants that took out loans. Yes, Generation Z, the people born after 1997, they're kind of pissed because those people aren't getting any attention on their failed degrees that they paid a lot of money for, and they want a reimbursement. So there's a lot of failed college participants that all want their money back because they were overcharged for what they feel like now didn't really have a value to it. But Joe Biden has erased a lot of billions of dollars of the failed policies of educating people to persevere, to be better, that got, in so many ways, suckered into taking a loan out that they can never pay back in their whole lifetime. Wow. Did you hear that? Oh, my gosh. Wow. The failed policies of these colleges that the big donors feel like have totally shamed them. Yes, those conversations, that gets deep and heavy, right? The failed policies of the criminals, basically the district attorneys and the elected politicians that have written laws that now, get this, now the postman more than ever, the postman probably got, there you go. I'm hearing now that these postal deliveries during the holidays are getting mugged like never seen before. That's probably what happened. Somebody mugged the postal guy for the $20 in one of these Ice Age TV envelopes. There you go. Yeah, it's factual. The Amazon people are getting mugged. The FedEx drivers are getting mugged. Haven't heard so much about the UPS guys. Maybe they are as well. But the whole point is, the policies of these elected officials, by the failures of others to understand who they're actually electing, gave them powers to raise the what is an actual criminal act of stealing the Hershey bar versus now you can steal the TV that's $9.99 and not have any criminal offense against you. Yeah, hello. So that's what now it's just it's a no brainer. People are sitting there going, wow. Amazon is now the rolling Target store. I can just go rob the Amazon truck. What are they going to do to me? I mean, come on. What are they going to do? I take some packages from the guy? Are they going to be able to incriminate me? No, because it's a failure of this city administration supporting the likes of these figures I just talked about. But it's a failure of the voters who elect these people that have no clue who they're electing. That's a big problem. Our failure in society today more than ever is the individuals that fall to the gig of these politicians are the most devious and unkind individuals in so many ways that have a master plan for the failure of our country like never ever seen. Is anybody catching on to this stuff? It's beyond unbelievable. I could go on all day long. I could, but I won't. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Who wants to be a failure? Why can't all these failed people go somewhere else? I mean, sincerely, just move somewhere else and enjoy the failed policies of Venezuela. Enjoy the failed policies of some of these other freaking nations and countries that support this type of behaviors that have now been transplanted into our own backyard in our own country. It gets deep and heavy. Leave it at that. I got to go to work. I got a busy ass day. So I go see my friend Tim. Be pretty cool. Probably be exhausted by the time the day's out drive there, but then who knows? We'll have to see how it plays out. I don't know. So anyways, there it is. Everybody have a great day. God bless. What's next? A Honda Goldwing, DCT, airbag edition, white. Is that on my Christmas list? Hey, wow. Why do I wear Honda all the time, right? Wow. Hey, everybody, hey, have a great day. God bless. Stay safe.